Whoa, whoa, whoa. Boston C here, Boston C. What's happening, Illuminators? Juggernaut's powerful and unstoppable. Observers, participators, benevolent determinators. Changing the atmosphere from the inside out. Changing this atmosphere. Making a difference. Loving big love. Practice loving big. Striving to thrive in your own lane. Your own unique dimensional reality. Your own UDI. We have our own UDI. You have your own UDI. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. We've got over 8 billion people on the planet. Yeah. There's a lot of unique dimensional realities. Some only using one half of their brain up here. Got that corpus callosum in the middle, the bridge. You take a field trip, get over on the other side. Become a whole brain one. Right? At least below the sun. Then you'll get your awareness and you'll take some action and begin to think above the sun, right? Anyhow, hope everybody's doing well. Go to abovethesun.io, abovethesun.io. Learn what P48 is, Philippians 4:8. That's what to do. Learn about QRST, quantum relational synergistic trading. That's how you do it. Right? Follow us, Boston C, on X at Above the Sun Life, at Above the Sun Life. And Boston C just posts below the sun news, some highlights, make some points, make some funny moans, stay humorous, you know. But right now, we're back. The biology of belief. You know, everybody has a belief, right? No, I don't believe in anything, Boston C. That's your belief. That's your religion. Everybody's got one. Might want to work on boning up your religion. And, you know, maybe working on that unbelief. You know, take the field trip. Go back and forth. Visit yourself. All right, let's read. Do this quickly, finishing up chapter 1. I think this is, well, and this is all free energy, right? You're getting some free energy. Ain't no cost for this. Take in what you like, spit out the bones. That's what I say, right? All right, let's walk in the talk of cells. So this is season 1. We're in episode 9. And this is Dr. Bruce telling his story. Okay, you don't have to get all of it. I'm going to try to read quickly. Got about 3 or 4 pages. I'll do it as fast as I can. I'll try to keep the commentary down to a minimum. Probably not, but hey, you know, just put me on pause, come back tomorrow. Anyhow, all right, Dr. Bruce, go. In my years of teaching in medical school, I had come to realize that medical students in an academic setting are more competitive and backbiting than a truckload of lawyers. They live out of the Darwinian struggle in their quest to be one of the fittest, who staggered to graduation after 4 grueling years of medical school. The single-minded pursuit of stellar medical school grades, without regard for the students surrounding you, no doubt follows a Darwinian model. But it always seemed to me an ironic pursuit for those who are striving to become compassionate healers. But my stereotypes about medical students toppled during my stay on the island. After my call to arms, my class of misfits stopped acting like conventional medical students. They dropped their survival of the fittest mentality and amalgamated it into a single force. A team that helped them survive this semester. Nice. Stronger students helped the weaker, and in so doing, all became stronger. Imagine that. Their harmony was both surprising and beautiful to observe. In the end, there was a bonus, a happy Hollywood ending. For their final exam, I gave my students exactly the same test the students in Wisconsin had to pass. There was virtually no difference in the performance of these rejects and their elite counterparts in the States. Many students later reported that when they went home and met with their peers who attended American medical schools, they proudly found themselves more proficient in their understanding of the principles governing the life of cells and organisms. I was, of course, thrilled that my students had pulled off an academic miracle, but it was years before I understood how they were able to do it. At the same time, I thought the format of the course was key, and I still believe that overlap in human and cell biology is a better way to present the course material. But now that I've ventured into what I told you would be considered by some as wacky Dr. Dolittle territory, I think a good part of the reason for my students' success was they eschewed the behavior of their counterparts in the United States. Instead of mirroring smart American medical students, they mirrored the behavior of smart cells. Right? Your 50 trillion cells are wicked smart. They're all unique. They're all working together. You're a cell. Banding together to become even smarter. I didn't tell my students to pattern their lives after the lives of cells. Good idea. But I like to think that they went in that direction intuitively. After listening to my praise of cells' ability to what? To group together cooperatively. To form what? More complex and highly successful organisms. Are you getting it? You're getting it. I didn't know it at the time, but I now believe that another reason for my students' success was that I did not stop at praising cells. Thank you for my 50 trillion cells. You guys are wicked smart. Keep working together. Let me know what I can do to help more than what I'm doing, right? They needed to hear that they were first-rate students in order to believe that they could perform as first-rate students. As I will detail in future chapters, so many of us are leading limited lives, not because we have to, but because we think we have to. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Suffice it to say that after 4 months in paradise, teaching in a way that clarified my thinking about cells and the lessons they provide to humans, I was well on my way to understanding of the new biology, which leaves in the dust the defeatism of genetic and parental programming, as well as survival of the fittest Darwinism. Genetic Darwinism? You know? Forget about it. When I first wrote this chapter, I had to search hard for the first glimmerings about the much maligned Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, would finally be credited for his insights about evolution. Nevertheless, proverbial optimist that I am, as you read above, I included a reference to an article with tentative headline, "Was Lamarck just a little bit right?" I'm happy to report that my optimism was warranted. A decade later, it's a lot easier to find Lamarck supporters who believed that he was more than just a little bit right. In fact, he was a seer. We're all seers. See differently, but you gotta want to see from the inside out. Nearly 200 years after his death, epigenetic research, one of the hottest fields in science today. You're an epigenetic being, you know that, right? Yep. Is corroborating over and over Lamarck's oft ridiculed belief that organisms adapt to their environment and can pass on those adaptations to future generations. Consider this definitive, no question mark, headline I quickly came across during my research for this anniversary edition: The Rebirth of Lamarckism, the Rise of Epigenetics. This was in 2009. Of course, Lamarck did not have any insight into the molecular nature of genes and their relationship to organismal expression. Neither did Darwin. So I can't figure that he was actually an epigeneticist. It has taken the high-tech labs of modern researchers to uncover the subtle, chemical modifications to DNA and DNA-associated proteins that enable organisms to adapt to their environment and pass on those adaptations of their offspring without changing the structure of DNA molecules. Freaking brilliant. Love it. That's spiritual intelligence encoded. Imagine that. Lamarck's theory of the inheritance of acquired characteristics, cited as the primary reason to debunk Lamarck, has now been found to be a valid hereditary mechanism. Frontier research is not only helping rehabilitate Lamarck's reputation, it is also undermining our culture's belief in genetic determinism, which, as you know by now, is one of the major themes of the biology of belief. The genes we inherit from our mothers and fathers are not our fate. Love it. You're powerful and unstoppable. I don't want to oversell the scientific community's shift to Lamarckism, but it comes to the mechanisms that drive evolution. There is still a lot of debate, for example, in the theory of adaptive mutation, which holds that mutations occur in response to specific stresses. You dealing with your stresses? Was first brought to academic attention in 1980s by eminent physician and molecular biologist Dr. John Carnes. He was called a heretic, and this theory is still controversial today. Oh well. Adaptive mutation conflicts with neo-Darwinism's focus on chance alterations. Yeah, right. And hereditary based on natural selection, a process that we describe by Darwin as the struggle for the most severe, and that came to be known as survival of the fittest. In parentheses, though it is a catchy phrase, survival of the fittest is actually a tautology, an obvious truth that is not an apt way of describing the driving forces of evolution. Are you evolving every day? Going up higher? Going deeper? Loving more? You evolving your love game? You're a love technology. Well, you said the evolution word. All right. Relax. You need a hug? By definition, fittest means most capable of survival. So the phrase can be rewritten as survival of the most capable of surviving. No argument here. Start using your four brains. Level up. Neo-Darwinism attributes mutations to accidental copying, mistakes, and replicating the genes. If the genetic error enhances the organism's survivability, the mutation is selected to propagate. This suggests that the direction of evolutionary advancement is accidental and unpredictable. How's that for tautology? In response to the perennial questions, how did we get here and why are we here? Neo-Darwinism theory would lead us to believe we evolved through a few billion years of lucky genetic accidents. All right there, Frankie, roll the dice. Hey, I hit 7 again. No, that's not no bueno. In contrast, Lamarckian theory implies that evolution-producing mutations arise from an organism's need to adapt to life-threatening environmental stresses. So they are not random, and to a large degree are environmentally predictable. Did you go vote? Are you letting it go? There's only going to be 4 outcomes. Either your teams win, your team doesn't win, we don't have an election, or it's like we got to hang and chat. So just move on. Play the hand on Wednesday morning. Don't look to early afternoon. Don't worry about it. Don't watch nothing Tuesday night. Go out, have fun. All right? Go out, have fun on Boston Sea. No, I'm not paying. I would if you were here, though. This seemingly arcane scientific debate is important because adaptive mutations imply purposefulness and biological evolution. The purpose being to conform to prevailing conditions in the surrounding environment. It's about your environment, which includes the entire community of life, like 8.3 billion of us, in this environment below the sun. Eventually, I believe the theory of adapt mutations will prevail and provide more support for the view that the web of life and the process of evolution are the result of highly organized symbiotic collaboration among all living organisms. That's right. Your imagination, your desire, your benevolent intentionality stay in power. You are what you think. You create your own reality, right? Take your environment, this environment, and the environment around you, make those environments work for you. You got a couple of you, right? You got your atomic body right here. right? Physical, got your soul body, mind, will, emotion, imagination, right? Subconscious, non-conscious, consciousness, reason, choice. And you got your spirit body outside of your soul body. You got 3 bodies down here. You got 3 up there. Conversation for another. It's complicated, but it's really easy. Just gotta be open. The facilitating researcher, biologist, and mathematician Martin Nowak, director of Harvard's program for evolutionary dynamics, already provides support for the crucial role of cooperation evolution. Using mathematical and computer simulations, Nowak divided populations into cooperators, those who support others, and defectors, those who do not support others even after accepting help from others. You a supporter or a defector? Nowak found that in several thousand papers, scientists have published on how cooperators ranging from bacteria to human beings prevail in evolution. All the scenarios fall into 5 categories. One category, for example, is spatial selection, in which cooperators and defectors are not uniformly distributed in a population. In these populations with patches of cooperators, helpful individuals band together and prevail against defectors. Another category is what Noah calls, I'll scratch your back and someone will scratch mine, in which an individual decides to be a cooperator because of the person in need's reputation. He uses the example of Japanese macaws, low-ranking monkeys that groom high-ranking ones may improve their reputations, in parentheses, and receive more grooming. By being seen with the high-ranking monkeys. The tree full of monkeys. Won't go there. Nowak calls the top brass, the monkeys up in the higher branches with the lower monkeys. Monkeys on the upper ones looking down at the lower monkeys. See all them smiling faces? All the lower monkeys looking up? Yep, all they're seeing is what? Schmugging the hugs. Yep. Nowak found that cooperation defection works on several levels. An individual can simultaneously be a cooperator and a defector. The example Nowak uses is a group of employees at a company who compete ruthlessly against one another for promotions, but also cooperate with one another to ensure that their company beats the performance of other companies. That insight about the complex nature of cooperation defection is in alignment with the principles of systems biology, another field that has boomed in the last decade, which recognizes that biological insights emerge best from studying the dynamics of interacting systems rather than focusing on only one system. One case in point, medical science once attempted to understand heart disease by focusing on the function and structure of the heart. However, fundamental breakthroughs in cardiac disease were only recognized when the heart's function was studied in relation to the influence of what? Other systems, such as the nervous, neuroendocrine, immune, digestive systems. Nowak's models also confirm that everyone who is agonizing over the current dismal state of our planet has noted that cooperation is intrinsically unstable. There are cycles when defection prevails. However, he also offers the good news that the altruistic spirit always seems to rebuild itself. You're a juggernaut, powerful and unstoppable. Nowak sums up what he discovered through his simulation with the conclusion that life is not just a struggle for survival, but also a snuggle for survival. Love frequency. The planet's got a love problem. That's why you gotta love you. You gotta love big love. You gotta practice loving big. You gotta love people, but you don't have to like them. You know, you can love somebody in the fam, but don't really like them and like what they do. But, right? My kids, I love them. There's nothing they're going to do that's going to make me more than how much I love them. And no matter what they do, it's not going to change on me having to love them less. I love them the same. But I may not like. And there may be some consequences that I got to be there for you. Right? So you love, but you don't have to like. Hope that helps. NOAC's models also confirm what everyone who is agonizing over okay, we already read that. A snuggle for survival, got that. Now more than ever, we need more research on the cooperative snuggle. For survival tests, we fall into a defection cycle. Hate, anger, depression, anxiety, during which we destroy ourselves and our planet. I believe we have been brought to the brink of our misunderstanding of evolution as simply a continuous struggle and quest for individual fitness, as measured by the number of one's toys. Human civilization has bought into the warning couch in the settle of Darwin's original Origin of Species book, the preservation of favored races, and the struggle for life. Sounds kind of racist. How's your funny bone? In other words, that life is all out struggle, wherein the riches go to the fittest, regardless of the means by which they are attained. According to this scientific principle, the less fit genetically deserve only what's left over. Really? You like genetics? How do you like these genetics? As an epigenetics. How about them genetics? That mentality has brought us continuous wars over material possessions, overconsumption that has led to unsustainable resource exploitation. Yeah, malevolent corruption and greed, all of it. But justice is blowing breezily on the concretely bad ones. Wait for it. Stay until the end. And an increasingly unequal wealth distribution, as well as an obviously ailing planet. The Darwinian focus on the fitness of the individual de-emphasizes the significance of communal cooperation in evolution. True story. One of the most striking areas where we have ignored the importance of cooperation among organisms, listen, is our own bodies. In the decades since I decried, and again, this book was written over 20 years ago, I decried our war against microorganisms with everything from antibacterial soap to antibiotics. A wealth of damage and evidence has emerged about the toll this war is taking on our bodies. The fact is that hundreds of trillions of microbial invaders, mostly in our gut, are what? Absolutely necessary for our survival. Imagine that. And there are 10 times more of them than cells in the human body. Imagine that. Because the body cannot survive without its microbes, collectively called the microbiome, which you have a plasmatic microbiome on the outside of you. True story. Your plasmatic electromagnetic being you. Humans and most other organisms are now properly defined as superorganisms, complex organisms composed of many small organisms. Again, in belated recognition of the microbiome's importance, in 2007, the National Institutes of Health created the Human Microbiome Project to study it. Those scientists reported that humans and other animals form a life-sustaining bond with their gut microbes. Researchers have found that human genes influence the genetics of the microbiome, and the microbiome's genes that make up 99% of the unique genes in our body regulate genes in our cells. I'm going to stop right there. Yep, we got a couple more pages. I know it's a lot. Hey, even if you only get 10% of it, right? Just take in what you get, spit out the bones, and come back and listen again. The bottom line is phenomenal technology right here. Phenomenal. And so I'm loving the sciences because we're on the cusp, because there's this blending, this spiritual, energetic science, right? It's spiritual energy technology that you can look at the science and reverse engineer. It's just really good stuff. So it's the real deal. You create your own reality at the thought level. That's why you gotta hang in the thought realm. You gotta take that stuff, deal with your junk, all that, right? And it's just being real, Because this stuff below the sun, this atomic realm, physical matter, it's only 0.005% visible light. Come on. Universe is 99.9% plasmatic. Dark energy, dark matter, it's alive. There's stuff in there, right? Electrons hanging out. Hey, what's going to happen? What's everybody going to do? We're going to spin up or we're going to spin down? What's going on in the environment? That's why you got to get off the cross, get in the game. We need the wood, and bring your best you, right? You do you. Don't do Boston C. Don't do your husband, your wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You do you. Do your thing. Do hard things. Do it for a long time, decades. Write your story. Then go make that happen. That's that Harvard, no, that Stanford grad. Talking to them business grad in 2023. He was good. He was in his 40s. He was wicked smart. Did real well, but he was just, that was it. He said those 4 things like, man, that dude, that's so good, bro. Right? Do hard things. Do it for decades. Do your thing. Write your story. Make that happen. Think about it. Imagine it. And then your future comes to you. And then just strive in your own lane. Where everybody is, go over there. Go there. Get some Bitcoin. We're going through the money system, right? Things are changing. Try to get yourself one. Over time. That'll be enough. If you can get more, keep stacking sats. Yeah. But everything's energy. And we need to begin to look at ourselves as energetic, right? You're looking at the physical. Is this you? Physical body? It's your atomic body. You got emotions? Well, what's your emotions look like? What's your imagination look like? What's your mind look like? What's your reasoning, your conscience? What's that look like? It's got a body. It's a soul body. It's an energetic body, like your spirit body, because you're a spirit. Yeah. Some say it's right down in the back in the brainstem, right down, goes down the spinal cord. You can go look at that, get that deal, right? And then you're wrapped around with this energetic, magnetic, plasmatic, epigenetic, making good decisions, living the good life. This is what it's like living above the sun. All right. So this was good. Thanks for hanging with Boston C. And I'll let you get back to your day. Stay in the way, stay in the path. Keep loving big love, practice loving big. And Boston C, and get some Bitcoin. Boston C up and away.